Hey, good morning, everybody. This is the professor with Day Trading for Success. I'm here a little early before the whole crowd comes in to go ahead and show you a professional and beginners layout. I'll start with the beginners layout and then I'll kind of make it more into professionals. Please read this disclaimer. Even though I'm not going to be doing any live trading this morning, I am not a licensed financial advisor. So if I happen to give any advice, you should really seek the advice of a licensed financial advisor before you follow it. So anyway, we'll get right into it. The purpose of this channel, of course, is to help you make $100 a day, $200 a day, maybe $500 a day or more day trading for success, to try to get you to make a living. We offer a lot of free scripts, a lot of free layouts, a lot of live trading archives, a lot of different informational videos about how to set up your scanners, how to see which way the market's going, how to do your charts, how to do support and resistance, and so on. So you should look around. We're getting close to 300 episodes now, so there's a lot to see here. Now, when you first open an account with Charles Schwab and you open up your Thinkorswim, you have to apply for that and get Thinkorswim. This is what it most likely will look like on a default. This might look a little different on the side here, I'm not sure, but most likely something like that. So the first thing I'm going to do to move on is I don't like the light background, so I'm going to go ahead and change it to a dark look, and I actually change it to old school TOS, and the purpose for that is basically because level 2 looks so much better than that, and we'll look at that in a minute when I get to setting up these. So I'm gonna build a layout for you, and then I'm gonna make this layout available for you. And then if you are watching through the whole thing, I'm also gonna make something free, a surprise for you, for only the people that stayed and watched the video. So someplace in this video I will drop it. You can't just go to the end and look for it because it won't be there. But anyway, so this is a movable side panel that opens and closes like that. And in here you have all kinds of things, your account information, which of course it's all blocked, and then you can news, and you can open up all these different things. What I keep over here is usually I open the monitor so all my trades come over here and they don't show up on the screen every time I take a trade. I will keep my watch list over here so you can see with this little plus down here where you can get all the different things. A message center, that's what I open up. And then I do I'll make different watch lists and things in here. And sometimes I have charts. So you can detach what's in here, which is really nice. And you can move them to different screens. You can blow them up. You could do whatever you want. And then you can delete things if you want to make more room. For the most part, I set it up once how I like it, and then I just keep it closed when I do my trading. So now we're going to get right into how we would set up a layout here. So this is on the default. So typically you're going to be on charts here is what it's going to open up as, right? Now I have this has actually already gone straight over to flexible grid. Probably it'll open up like that for you guys, but I'm going to set up a flexible grid right here. And I did want to show people, because I got an email on this video about Bookmap. Now you can get Bookmap for free. It seems like it's taking a minute to load, but you can get it for free. You have to ask Thinkorswim, call them up, and then you have a free version right here. Different things you can get. So and then this is kind of what it looks like on your screen. Now I did used to use this somewhat, and I don't, but that doesn't mean that a lot of people don't love Bookmap. So, but this isn't about that. I'll try to go over little things as I see them and call out more things. I'm also going to do a little tiny bit of technical analysis for you today as I build this. But this is basically what you would start with. So what I'm going to do on a flexible grid is I'm going to get rid of everything else so you can just kind of see how it starts. Then these little squares tell you whether you can add something below or something beside it. So I'm going to add one beside it there. I'm going to add one below. Oops, I did the wrong thing. One below there, because I know what I'm about to do over here. And then over here, I'm going to do one more, two more, three more, and then pull these down so they're kind of out of the way for now. You can drag these around. So right now I haven't put anything on any of these yet because I'm just getting the actual template laid out to do this. Now I'm going to add one over to the side, and then I'm going to do one below that there. And if those of you that are used to seeing my layout probably know what I'm doing here already. So now we have, so what's going to happen up here, this is going to be my active trader, and then below that will be end up being my level 2, and then actually no, that has to go right here. So yeah, so level 2. So there's my active trader and my level 2. And then I need one 15-minute chart below that. So that's going to be so this is the template for how it's going to all end up. I'm going to use each and every one of these little squares for something. So that's how easy it is to put it together. Now you might want a different shape. I'm going to show you specifically how I day trade and scalp. I'm a professional trader known as the professor. I used to be a math teacher, and this is what I'm going to show you how I do it to make money. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up to the link, and we're going to make everything linked to the same. Now you're going to see a lot of charts open because that is the default that will open up. So let's get that done real quick, just so that's all set up. Need a little bit of music here or something. Da, da, da. Okay, so now everything is linked. Now everything I know is going to stay a chart. I don't need these sidebars, so I'm going to take off the ones that I know are going to stay charts, which is all 3 of these, and these over here as well. The only thing that isn't going to remain a chart are these 2 in the middle, so I'm actually going to start with those. So the sidebar is still over here because I haven't deleted it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if it comes up. So there we go. So now my sidebars come up. So I'm going to go active trader here, get rid of the chart. Okay. And now I can get rid of this sidebar. So while we have active trader open, I'm going to go ahead. That has buy market, sell market. I don't want that cancel. I'm going to drag it over. Now you can highlight it and remove the item. I've just found that it's much easier to do it that way. I'm not going to keep the flatten key on though, but if you do ask and bid a lot, I recommend that you do keep a flatten key. So you know what, I'll actually keep it there for now. So I'm going to put on buy the ask below this reverse, drag it over here, and then I want cancel all right below the reverse as well. And then I want sell the bid. I'll put that over here. And I kept flatten, and I think that's all I need there. And then I do need to put in the quantity and buttons. So usually that's, but I'll put that right down there. Okay, so that's already actually down here. Yeah, here it is. So I'm just going to drag that up because there's a second line. So I want this all to show on the first line. I'll show you in a minute. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to take this over. This is the time of day you're trading. So I'll put that over there, and this is your template. So now when I moved all that, I say OK, and this is what it looks like over here now. Now this is your default order. We'll talk about that in a minute. So since I know I've done all that, I'm going to get this part out of the way here. Oh, what did I just do? I didn't mean to do that. All right, hang on. I just added a screen somewhere. Where did it go? Oh, no, I actually deleted a screen. That's what I did, didn't I? Oops, after all that. Okay, let's do that again. Sorry, guys. I pushed the wrong one. So, yeah, because that's your... Yeah, I did. I deleted a screen. Oh, well. It's early yet. We need more coffee. I think I'll just get rid of this. Yeah, that's right. I have to get rid of this by... The only way I can get rid of that is over here. I can't get rid of this without getting rid of the whole thing. Sorry, guys. So we're going to do that all over again. Let's see. get these set up the right way here. Reverse is on there. I need cancel all, the right cancel all. Did I do that already? See, I did it so much faster the first time. And then we'll drag that up. And let's see, that's everything I want there. And then we want to get this over here at the top of that. We're going to want to get rid of that. And I think that's all set up again. Okay, so don't click that off of the sidebar. So we need the sidebars. We need the grid on right now. So actually, before I set up anything else, I think I'm going to finish these so I can get rid of this customizable grid squares everywhere. So let me pull this up. And this is going to be your level 2. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there, get rid of the charts, check off that. And then I don't believe I need the customizable grid for anything else right here. Well, I will show you something else here that I don't normally have on, which is time and sales. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I don't use it much, so that's why I have to link it green. So this is the time and sales, and if I were to use it, I kind of have it over here like this next to my active trader, so I can see the numbers rolling. So, you know, I'm not going to give you a lesson on how to trade, but you might want to have that up. You might even want to have that, build that. If you use that, if you're doing momentum trading, I'm primarily trading large cap, mega cap, sometimes mid cap stocks with this layout using specific strategies. So I wouldn't normally have the time and sales up. Okay, so I am going to X this out carefully. Okay, and now I am going to turn off these. So that's how you get rid of the customizable grid. And now I'm not going to make another mistake, thank goodness. So the rest of this layout, how I do this here, I mean on this particular active trader, is I get rid of the day. I don't like that. And then I pull that up, went there. And that's what it looks like the way I trade. You know, I want to see my price, my position immediately. And I don't need to see anything more than that. Now, if I was to use the ladder, I would adjust this, and sometimes I do. I would adjust this accordingly. Something like this. The market's not open right now, so things are a little... So that's what I would make that look like, but what I typically do is I do this, and that's closed like that, all right? And then I spread this a little wider so that those, you know, sometimes you just have to move it and then move it back to get it how you want to get it. Now, if you watch me trade a lot, I won't have these buttons here up when I'm doing competition, so I would just remove those, but you might want those when you trade. So it's a cleaner look up here for me now, and sometimes you have to, again, pull it. It'll come up there across the line. Oh, okay. So I'll try to keep it. That's probably actually more. That's probably more like where I have it, something like that, if you're used to seeing me. Now, this would fill completely up if you were doing, you know, if the market was open. But I put a 15-minute chart here, and we'll do that in a minute. And I just look at a little bit because when I'm doing large cap and mega cap, the level 2 doesn't come into play too much because it's not going to help me get in and get out of the move as much as with smaller stocks that are much more volatile. The reason that I trade large cap and mid cap, and the reason why it's a beginner strategy for people, and there is a strategy called the RV strategy. There'll be a book link to it. I'm not going to go into it, but it's really the one you want to do for a beginner because it's very consistently moves sideways within a range. So if you're trading like 25 shares, 50 shares, you can make $100 to $500 a day if you're careful and you follow the strategy. You have to be careful, trade in a simulator, have a day trading plan for maximum loss per trade and per day, practice in a sim with that plan, for many months to make sure you're green before you use real money. And again, talk to a financial advisor. I have to say that because I'm not licensed, although most financial advisors will tell you don't day trade. We all know that, right? You know, myself as an investor for many years, and first in closely held corporations, then I got more into the market. I trade with advisors as well. I have huge, funds manage many different accounts I have, as well as do swing trades. I have 6 screens around me here, and I'm trying to give you a layout on a single screen. Right now, you can, you don't have to have all these charts that I have on the right of this screen to trade daily. You might want to get rid of them. I have it here for a quick setup, and since I'm, educating people on the channel, it makes it go much quicker when I'm mic'd up. So this is a basic, like I said, a template of a layout. But if you have additional screens, you may not want to do that. I have all these things open for a specific reason, because I will set up different strategies, like that RV strategy I just talked about. And then the $1 Million Margin Club just came out with a new one, Day Trading Volume 4, which is the open strategy. And you're really going to want to get that too. Like we say, that's like printing money. So there'll be a link to that. And then other books I highly recommend are, all the $1 Million Margin Club books, especially the log books and things, if you don't have a log book. So they're heavy logger and that log books. That's why I really support them. And then they have strategy guides, which I just talked about. But you really want to get Mark Douglas' Trading in the Zone book. You should read that. It probably comes in more handy for you if you're a beginner, after you've traded a bit and you're totally frustrated and you've lost your confidence, which will happen. It's just part of the journey. And then it'll happen again and again and again. And that's why I continually re-listen to that book. Unfortunately, he's passed away now, but I do audio while I'm out exercising. But I highly recommend that to help you on your journey to gain back your confidence and to understand the probabilities, the different outcomes that come from the different probabilities, and how he basically says you have to assume, no matter how sure you feel, every trade's going to go against you. Every single trade. And if you look at it that way, you've really got a leg up, and then that helps you follow your day trading plan, which is the most difficult thing to do, is to follow a day trading plan. The other one it's hard to find, for me, it's really hard to find writers that I respect that aren't just throwing something out there and regurgitating the same information. I love it when I see a different perspective, and that's what I got when I read Tom Hogarth, Best Loser Wins, and some of the things that he talks about I really believe in. Specifically, I couldn't understand why people would set a max profit of a trade, like take out right here your profit. But I do understand why you'd want to set a loss, that I got. But the fact that you'd set take profit and then have a loss, have them both, that I never quite got, because being somebody that is into technical analysis and reading that, I would only want to get out when I thought the trade was going against me, or when it got near, when it got way up, then I would set my take profit more like, here's my loss now, like it's way up here. I'm not going to take the loss where I had it set way down there. I'm going to say, like, hey, I had it set if it went down $1 or $2. So now I make my $1 or $2 up there when it, So, but he talks, so that was a little confusing. But he basically says, ride the move until the indicators or the analysis says it's over. You don't just get out and leave money on the table. So that was one of the things I really like. What I didn't really like is how he wasn't into believing candlestick patterns, although as much as most people, although times have changed since COVID. He wrote that book before COVID, and with all the people that came in, candlestick patterns even became more reliable. In fact, even day trading, full day patterns became more reliable on 1 minute and 5 minute and 15-minute charts, because more and more hundreds of thousands of traders, people stuck at home, learn trading, and then they learn candlestick patterns, and then it changed everything so that the patterns can now are much more reliable on a 1 minute, assuming you have good volume. You always have to have good volume, and I don't trust patterns much in pre-market or after-market hours. But that said, there is a book out there called the Candlestick Pattern Playbook. A whole bunch of professionals' data, different traders' data was put into that book to rate the pattern's accuracy. So I'll have a link to that. It's the Candlestick Pattern Playbook or the $1 Million Margin Club Day Trading Volume 2. So they have another study guide that goes with that. So I recommend that. So look at all those different books, guys, and then we're going to get right back into this. So now let's go ahead and set up this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this to make this the way I want it to look. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this. Let's see. So I want to go to. No, I don't want to do that first. Hang on. I've lost my train of thought here. So I want to go. No, I do want to open this, but here we go. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into the appearance. And I'm going to go ahead and fill up my candlesticks. I'm going to make this a very dark background. I'm going to get rid of the grid that you see, those little lines here. You can see them. I don't like those there. So, and then basically I'm going to, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go down to, give me a second, guys. Get that, check that off. Nope. I do that. Volume bars. There we go. Okay, so then apply. Now, that's what I typically do to do my original setup. And then the next thing I do is I will get rid of this other junk down here. Show corporate actions. I don't want to. That's what those are down there. So you definitely wouldn't want that there. Well, I mean, you might want that there. I don't put those there. Expiration Friday. Now these aren't going to show up on a 1 minute chart anyway. So I'm going to make this into a 1 minute chart. So how we do that is we go for intraday, right? And then this is important. That you'd think that 1 day is the fastest for data, but you want today, right? So 1 minute chart today. It'll show it up here. Just making sure that there's nothing in my picture here. I think that's kind of the most out of the way there. I don't know. So this is how you would start, on a 1 minute chart, and then you can build it. In here, you'd want to add so let's get some moving averages over there. Now I have a bunch of videos that show you how to set up charts. So you're going to want to look those up on the. Now when you're doing something on the site, you go to the home page and there's a little eyeglass, not the top thing that lets you search on all of YouTube, but for those of you that don't understand YouTube, there's a little eyeglass that's just for this channel, and there are almost 300 episodes. So just type in there how to set up charts or charts, and then these different episodes will come up. Free indicators, these different episodes, anything free, a whole bunch of stuff comes up. How to predict which way the market goes. Type in what you're looking for, and then the closest episode will come up for that. So. Why is that? Oh, I see. I have it typed there. Okay, so add selected. So these are the three things that I put on to just show you before we get into real custom stuff. Now you can click to the right here. The default is always a 9. I make it my 9 gray, my 9 moving average gray. All right, I usually double the thickness. Okay, so that one's done. And then I make then I may have a 20 up here. So my microphone's in the way of my keyboard. Okay, and I make that green and I double the thickness. Okay, on the VWAP, I don't like the little upper and lower band, so I check those off over here. You may want those. Because my chart gets so full with other stuff, I get rid of those, and then I make this red, and then I'm going to triple that, because that's a very important thing that I don't make enough note of on my videos. Okay, so now I apply it all, and now those, oh, I thought I made that red. Did I not? What did I do wrong? Let's see. No, okay, I didn't do that. There we go. Okay, that's the studio cat that needs to be fed, and that is not my job. Okay, so you got to see somebody else. All right, so there is, I didn't use her proper name. I'm so rude. Shiitake, the loving cat that wants attention right now. So there's a basic setup for a 1 minute chart. Now, what you would do is you would want to save that, right? So now what I did is I have these different styles here, right, for everything that I would want to use, right? What I normally start off when I'm setting something brand new is I just say dark, and then it comes up like that, like, so I just kind of went backwards there. But now I already have a 1 minute clean, so this is a 1 minute that's just kind of clean, that has just what we did. But now you're going to see me get into some pretty cool stuff here. So now I'm going to load a style that has some custom indicators on it, and this is the 1 minute loaded, and that's a 1 minute loaded, so that's a big mess. And we're going to go over this stuff in a minute, but not right now. So let me kind of pull this up to do a day chart down here, because I don't want to overwhelm you, but that's so we save time. I brought in some of the custom indicators this way. So now let's go to the day. So now that you saw how you can do that, you save the style once you build it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and go right to the ones that are already built. So there's my day chart that's down here, and that has an ATR, and that has just a very, very clean chart to do some things for strategy. So I keep that minimized down here. And now we're going to go over, since we built these two things, we're going to get right into this one. So this one is, you can maximize right here. This one is going to be a 15 minute, and I have that already styled in here. So there's a 15 minute. Okay, it's very clean. Oh, I see that that somehow got styled with the those corporate actions I don't want on the 15 minute. Oh no, that's a year thing, not a corporate act. What am I doing? So that should be under time. Show the year or the expiration Friday. I don't want those on. So that red line disappeared there. So I have that saved incorrectly. Let me just see if we can save that right now. So save style. And there it is. So I'll just push include patterns even though there aren't any. So I'm going to resave that, and I'm replacing that. So it's without that line that I didn't want. Okay, so now the 15 minutes in. Now this is going to be a 5 minute over here. Now again, this is the way I set it up, and I already have the day set up and everything that I want. So I load the style again. I've got a 5 minute 10-day clean. We won't go to the clean. We'll go right to the way I'm going to have it with the indicators. Now these have the MACD in the ADX custom. The MACD is not custom, but the ADX is. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and that's what that would look like. And we'll go over that again in a few minutes. So then I have another one down here that is going to be clean. This one is for marking my Fibonacci's only, and I don't actually monitor it at all. So while I'm trading, so this is a 2-day. The other was a 10-day. This is a 2-day clean, and that's what that looks like. Only I can see that it has that dumb year. Oh, I thought it was there. Well, it's not there. Okay. I was just looking at that line there, trying to figure out why that's there. But okay, so now this is what you would see visually when I trade. I have various ones. Sometimes I don't have this up here. I can see I pulled the beta one up here, which is, this is an old one. So, but this still works. And this is what you typically see me have set up lately, although there's a lot of other custom indicators, and I would invite you to watch one of the custom indicator videos. I know I made one. I don't know if you're seeing this before that, but it's probably coming out very soon from the time that you watch this. And then now we're going to go ahead and get these. So I'm going to make these into a 30-minute, a 1 hour, and a 4 hour, these reduced charts. And the reason I do that is because I use these to help set up. So, oops, I like the wrong thing here. So 1 hour, and what am I doing here? I don't see a 1 hour. Oh, there it is at the top. Okay. And then this one should be the 4 hour. So now when we open these up, they will be, they're already set automatically for what I want. Nice, clean charts. Okay, that's what I look for. So this is all set up, and we're going to go over some other things here that we didn't talk about. Now, when you want to save your layout, and I am going to make this layout a link to get this layout that I'm building for free for you today so you can get it. And I do want to tell you that I'm giving away a free indicator today. I'm going to add it for the people that are watching. On the very first episode, go to episode 1, and you go to the bottom of that, you will see a free indicator that's already been available for those people that are watching, which is the half and whole dollar brand new indicator that's not even out yet that I designed because I am a coder. And I'm also going to give you one. We already give away the scalping indicator for free. I'm going to give you a different scalping indicator for free. I'm going to give you the prayer indicator for free. So that will be on episode 1 for a while for the people that are watching this. And in a month after this has been released, it probably won't be there anymore when people get the idea to go look there and not watch the videos anymore. And don't make a comment about, hey, thank you for the free indicator on episode 1. Make the people watch. So that's just a little treasure hunt for you guys. But anyway, so you would save your workout, your layout here. You can see all the different ones that I have saved. And then I wanted to go into application settings. So now I'm not going to click on my account here because all my accounts will show, but that's where your account comes up. All right. And then here's your orders. I'm going to let you can take a screenshot of these if you want to set it like how I have them set up, which isn't any, and most of them are defaults. Okay. Right there. Let me just see something here. Yeah, I was just looking for something on my own there. Security. And then last used, I have it set up for last used layout will come up, but you can always make it go to the home screen. The look and feel, you saw me set that for that. Display. So this is another way where if you don't want your messages or trades to be shown, just mark this, do not show. That's another way a lot of people don't understand that you don't have to have that up there. And here's another little trick. Do not click this to fast, which you would think, I don't know, maybe you have an amazing computer. I have a pretty good computer. When I click this to fast, things slow down. And they warn you right there to not click that to fast, what might happen. So it can slow it down. And I don't think that you need that. I don't know. It depends on what you trade. And then you can pick different languages too. So you can you want to put on your email to be notified for certain trades sometimes. I highly recommend, because of stop hunters, which are real despite what other people might say. Being personally involved in the other end of that, I can tell you, that there are stop hunters out there. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't set your stock to sell when it goes down too low, and you want to be careful, right? If you have a small amount of shares, it's not a big deal. But if you're setting at a big dip, at a big support, where it's hit like 5 times across, and everybody's going to put that price. So your 50 shares are being added to 500 to 100,000 to 1 million shares at that level, And yes, stop hunters will go for that. So it's not like they're after your little share size. They're after the big moves. So if you're anywhere above it, you get picked up too, and then it just goes right back up again, and then you're out of that trade. So may or may not happen. You could debate about it forever. I know people do it. I know big companies do it. I know high frequency algorithms look for them. I know. You can believe what you want to believe. But what I think is the wisest thing to do is to set an alarm, an alert when it gets to a certain price, and then get it on your phone or wherever you are. And then you can say, hey, it's too low. I got to get out. You don't have to make it so that you're vulnerable. And if you don't believe it, then it doesn't matter. Just do whatever you want to do. Then this is how you can change it. I think I'd mentioned on the active trader, you can change this to any. Mine's usually at 500, so we'll set that so it can see how it looks different. I've been trading a lot of low share size lately for people, so that's why that was set there. Now, the hotkeys. I don't trade often with hotkeys on Thinkorswim. I use it on one of my other platforms like Lightspeed. I do the momentum trading with, so I mostly use hotkeys there. But occasionally I will use hotkeys. And why they're set this way, buy market, sell market, and then flatten, is I put my left hand on my keyboard. I'll rest my palm on the desk, on the computer desk, right? And then my thumb goes on the control, so my thumb's on the control, and it always presses it down. So it's just a relaxed position. I'm down, heavy-handed, down. So why I'm bringing this up is it's not just because this is my, quirky thing. It's because of a carpal tunnel. And then if you're going to continue to do this, you need to figure out a way to be the safety of your hands and arms and tendons and, so right, what happens is I just keep it rested, and it's just a natural position. I do it on the other side too. It's not the control, but I mean, my other hand's down on the right side, and the left side, the thumb's on the control, and then these two fingers are getting me in and out of positions. So on the left side, control 1, I'm buying. And then on the right side, control hyphen, I'm selling. So I'm just boom, 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 boom. And occasionally I have to lift it up to go control asterisk to flatten. So it's just some advice from somebody who's been trading a long time, because you will get messed up. And you have to get braces on, and it's just a big mess up. And then my profile is the professor. So that's just some of the things that I wanted to make sure I went over here. And trying to think of what else to show you guys. So I am going to make this layout available. So let's talk about a couple things. We'll talk about some of the custom indicators that I use, and then we'll talk about a little bit of technical analysis. So I'll give you kind of a very well-rounded thing. Now, if you are a beginner trader, you do not need this big mess. I think I mentioned that once already. You may not want this. This is to help me set up for the RV strategies, the open strategies, the escalator strategy, for freestyle trading, so I can immediately adapt to anything trading on a 1-minute chart, but looking at the other charts. So my eyes are looking kind of at the price that's flashing around, a little bit of the level 2, the scalping indicator down here, and these indicators up here. So it's kind of like a circle around right here. And then occasionally I'll look over at the 5-minute. But because of these new indicators, I don't have to look at these charts as much, and I'll tell you why in just a second here. So let me, just so it's easier to, I'm going to blow this up just so we can talk about this 1-minute chart. So this is the chart I trade on, right? I'm sorry, I left out a key thing here, how to operate everything here. So let's go into, this isn't very important if you're still here. So my tools, I want them on my chart. So I'm going to apply them. And now they're on my chart over here, and then I'm going to pin them. Now that's going to be, these are going to be on every chart. They're not pinned yet. Now I'm going to change what it says up here, because I can keep my tools right here and use them. So we're going to put a price level here. We'll change this to a price level, and then we'll change this to pan. Okay, and then we're going to add a button, and we'll do a Fibonacci retracement. And that's pretty much all I really need. Sometimes I'll have the extensions over here, and then you lock them, and now they're here, and I can work on my chart. So I immediately looked for my pan. Now you don't have to put them up there, but I don't feel that they're in the way, and that's what I do. So I didn't block anything from my picture, right? I hope not. No. Now remember, I am a coder, so I do a lot of custom scripts. I also do some shenanigans to speed up my platform, going in the back end and weird things like that. Now, you guys, it doesn't affect, it's not cheating. It doesn't affect you making trades or not making trades. But I have gone ahead and made all these custom scripts available to really help. These are the things that professionals use. So any professional that's using Thinkorswim and not, say, Lightspeed, they're using every trick in the book to get an edge, because the platform itself is amazing, but it is a big lumbering dinosaur. So how do you speed it up? How do you deal with that, right? So that's kind of the things you learn to do. You do that a lot with indicators that they don't offer. Now, eventually they may offer these. I don't know if they're popular enough. But let's go over what I have here. So the number one indicator that I designed all these, so I can speak with a lot of authority about what they are. And I work with Thinkorswim, and I work with, I'm a consultant with Seeking Alpha and Benzinga, and so I've been around. And let me just see. Unfortunately, on pre-market here, these are kind of lackluster. I was trying to get them to look bigger here. Maybe if I go back, let me see if I can go back to, yeah, wait, hang on a second. Can I go back? No, I can't without changing them. I can't see the, it's too far away from current. Well, anyway, sorry, you guys, I was trying to make it so you could see this better, and on pre-market, you can't really see it very good. But the red line inside here represents the selling pressure, the green line, the buying pressure. So, and then this is the percentage within the candles, right? So right now, there's nothing going on, as you can see. So that's why I just switched to not available, not available. This is the volume of the last candle. This is the current candle. As you can see, only 700 here. So that's why. So this, you could actually move the stock if you did 1,000 shares right now, no problem. But typically on NVIDIA, you can't. You would take a lot of traders to even move it. So you can't get into controlling it that way. But this, which is not what this is about really, but this indicator, knowing the pressure inside each individual candle, is a game changer. This is the number one scalping indicator used by professional traders. You'll see a lot of other ones that show kind of green and red, but it's evolved. I pretty much took it as far as you could go, and then you can constantly see the momentum change in the moment. And I describe it of like being on a surfboard waiting. You're waiting for the wave, and then as you see these start to go, it tells you when to jump on that wave, which way to go, and ride it. Now, it's designed particularly it's designed for a 1-minute chart. You can use it on a 5-minute chart, but it's designed to pick up quick momentum trends, and using it on, so you can see buyers 100%. See how that jumped up? See how that went up there? It just told you, like, hey, and now you're seeing it come up over here. It just told you, hey, you might want to get on that move, right? Now, as with anything, it's not, you have to get on and you have to be ready to get off right away, but you could do a quick profit. So you just can't get any better than this indicator. And a lucky thing for you is that it's free on this channel. It's the only one because I designed it. Now I also do sell these different types to them to other big companies that do have, like the $1 Million Margin Club has some of these others for sale that you cannot get here. But I have many free scripts on this channel, okay? And this one I kept available so that everybody, like community share, has a chance to become successful day trading, because this will really help you. Now, when you have the three of these on your chart, these three up here, this goes even further to help you. So there's really 4 indicators here that I recommend getting if you want a really good chance to become a successful day trader. In the end, it's all up to you. No gadget can help you. It's up to controlling, taking your time to learn 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, and then keeping your losses low, trading in a sim. And then depending on your curve and how much time you can spend, you have a good chance if you stick with it. It's not, they say it's a 90% failure rate, but there's a lot of reasons for that. It just depends a lot on your personality. I have a terrible, terrible time believing I can't control what's in front of me. And as a species and as we're raised, we're taught that we can manipulate. Let's just think about it. We're taught that, and if we can't, then we change the parameters of the test, right? Well, it doesn't work in the stock market. That's why it's one of the hardest things to learn, and you have to have a max loss per trade. And again, I'll refer to Mark Douglas again. Any trade can go against you. Any trade. Count on it with all your gadgets and all your knowledge. So the people that really succeed know at any time it's going to go against them, no matter how. So they don't just go like, I know it's going to turn around. I know it's going to turn around. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. No, you have a max loss and you get out and you go, oops, I called that wrong. And you're okay with it because you know that that's part of the entire system, that you're going to get so many wrong. And if you don't get them wrong, something's wrong. If you're getting them all right, something's wrong. That's going to blow up sometime because it's not normal to not be wrong. But yet we wanna, and that's why one of the indicators is called the prayer indicator, which I'll make available, because you pray to the screen, and some people believe that they can still do that, and depending on your belief, that prayer indicator will help them. So you could ridicule that and say that's ridiculous, or you could say that's absolutely true. It's a matter of perspective. But let's go into these indicators here and how unique and dynamic they are. So this is 1, 2. This is not 3. There's 3 indicators here. I was counting 2 for 1. So this is the market magnet. Now this is based on the volume profile, which Thinkorswim has completely for free. Okay. It's true. It is completely for free, and you can almost set it up the same way, but not quite. And the differences can be very startling. This is set for intraday, so you can see that I'm on today right here, right? And then this whole thing is set for intraday, meaning it starts to read its data as the market opens. Now this is reading the previous because we're not open yet, right? And then there's a mathematical formula that consistently adjusts the average as the sales come in. So as the price, as the purchases and as the sales, ask and bid, however you want to call it, are coming in, right? Then you can tell how many people. This is representing the volume, right? Or would it at each price level. So these would, you take them across to a price level. Here was the volume at that price level, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. Right, so there's always a buyer for somebody who's selling. There's always a seller for somebody that's buying. So, but this is just giving you the overall volume of what's happening. And then this magenta line in the middle is called the magnet. This is where the peak of the volume exists, right? Look at how that scalping indicator told you to get in and make money there. That's what I mean, how important that is. So remember that, guys. There's links to all this stuff. Now, this is set specifically away for large and mega cap. And this high and low range of this overall volume is set for 50% of it. And you will see, we're on NVIDIA, which is a mega cap. You will see time after time, it rejects. The arrows are showing you like, hey, it's going to turn around. Hey, it's going to turn around. And then these arrows are showing you the other way. Now, pre-market, it's not as accurate. And it does change over time because it's moving. Obviously, these arrows are going to move. but you try it and you'll see that it's just one more way to tell you which way your price action is going to go, right? So look for that. And then this magnet is what's so unique about this, right? You'll see these bands of volume come in above and below the magnet, and they'll reach all the way while you're trading. In the moment, you can see them come across, thick ones, thin ones. And if a bunch came below it, what happens is it pulls the magnet down. When you see that happen, it's like a hammer pushing the price down. And that's the indicator that you're using with everything else that you have to say, hey, verification, go short. Again, not always. Probability, you can't count on anything always. Just little guidelines to give you an edge. This is a very important indicator. Now, what else would you look at when you're looking at that? You'd look at, hey, that's jumping to go down. And look at the scalping indicator saying lots of sellers. It's going down 100%. It's retracing the move it just did. Now, when the market's really moving, you can really see this better than the slow action stuff. And the other thing you want to look at is this indicator right up here. You might wonder what all these green and red lines are. Why is that not? That's not showing the correct indicator. All right, so we're going to go into the guts here for a second here. Let me go into, these are all my customs. I think I grabbed a beta. I was grabbing betas here, so let me just see. Okay, let's try this one. This is the souped up. We'll get rid of that one. We'll apply. All right, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Sorry, guys. So these red and green lines are part of these right up here. Okay, so each one of these are 5 minutes apart. I don't know why that's got a weird gap right there, but 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's only 5 candles, so I don't know. It just looks strange there for some reason. 1, 2, 3. Well, I think the pre-market's kind of messing this up a little bit. It's not meant to be used really, but the whole idea for the pre-market, the whole idea of this is what a 5-minute chart color is right now. That's a 15-minute chart. That's a 30-minute chart. So why don't we just take a look? All right, so 5-minute, it says on your 5-minute chart that your action's red. Yes, it's red. Okay, this is what we call multi-chart alignment. A 30-minute up there and a 15-minute are both saying red. So you can see that it's red on the 15-minute. Here, let me lock this in. See? And then here's your 30-minute. Red. Now, why is that important? Well, you need to know what the other traders trade on different charts. They're watching price action on 5-minute, 10-minute, 2-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. More traders trade on the longer time frame than the shorter time frame. Oh, by the way, this should be changed now that I've changed that 500. Oh, it didn't change. Did I not save it? I thought I pumped that up. Maybe I didn't. I remember when I changed it to 500, it's supposed to be up here. I guess I didn't save it properly. So when you see this multi-chart alignment here, it helps you decide. So as you're coming up to one of these 5-minute increments, so inside this 1 hour, you have the other increments. You have the 30-minute, 15-minute, and 5-minute. They're all on this line, anything below it. And the 15-minute has the 5-minute below it. And when you see a 4 hour, which we can't get back to, but yeah, because I have this set for today, so it's really tight. Let me just see something here. You can set this time ax. This is at 97, so let's just set this at 5. That's going to take us 5 bars from the end here. I still can't get the 4 hour in here, but when there's a 4 hour here, you know, then it would include the 1 hour, the 30-minute, the 15-minute, and oh, here's the 4 hour. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm blind. So whenever you see that, but it moves in 5-minute increments, so you're going to want to see, as it gets right next to this, what is the multi-chart alignment? Most shorter term are saying it's going down, longer term are saying it's going up. So this is vital information without having all these charts open to figure out which way the trade's going to go. Now this is a fairly new indicator. I designed it myself. It's really it's really a game changer. It really is. I use it all the time now, along with this market magnet, along with the scalping indicator. So I usually don't. I've been going on and on about the scalping indicator here for well over a year, and then I talk to you about other indicators which are cool, but never have I used these in trading before so much. I don't think I'll ever stop with this setup, you know. Now, another thing over here that's a custom one is the ADX. I see that it's on beta, and it shouldn't be, but this tells you trends, and an alarm will go off. Now, I've been starting to do this lately based on some of the students in the Bahamas I was trading with, that they use it on a 5-minute, and it helps them a lot along with the multi-chart alignment to signify a trend on a 5-minute. Make sure your sound is turned on your computer, on their platform, and it will make it like a phone, like an old-fashioned phone ring, when it alert you that not on your short-term action here, that on the 5-minute it's actually made a trend. If you're scalping, a 5-minute trend becomes more important than a 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, or so on. So that's basically what that indicator does. And I always use the MACD, which is free on the, now this is also free. This is a free script, and it's not beta like that. So I just loaded the wrong one. Since I designed them, I grab the wrong one sometime. But so all those will be available on this video, along with the platform layout here, a link to it, along with links to all the other stuff. So you guys should look around. You should look around on the channel. I'm trying to think if there's something I've forgotten to tell you about this. Oh, I didn't get into technical analysis. For those of you that are waiting, let me do that real quick. As a professional trader, I'll give you some quick insights to the simple stuff that we learned way back when that some people don't think about. So let's do it on a 5-minute. Think about sharing with you. I mean, let's do it on the 5-minute here. Oops. Okay, so now this could be a day chart, this could be a 4-hour chart, this could be anything you want. There's 2 different ways to help you figure out. Now there's exact strategies, which I talked about, that you should get the books or watch the videos about those strategies. But just from the very beginning, how do you decide on things, right? What helps you decide? So there's 2 ways to do technical analysis. Well, 3 ways. There's candlestick patterns, overall patterns. So let's zoom in. Let me see if I can see a few patterns here. Like here's one for sure. Let me get this locked in. So I'm looking right here and I see a pattern. So I'm going to show you this pattern. I also see, let me see if I can get a, guys, I'm trying to see some really cool ones here for you, but we'll go on this one right away because it's so in your face. This is called a tweezer. This is a tweezer move, and this means that typically, I think there's like over an 80% chance that the next move will be down. Usually it goes down the distance of the candle to the left, which is that whole, if you look up here, you can see the range of that candle right there. So that was 34 cents. So if that went down 34 cents from the bottom of that, that would basically be 119, right? So let's see where this ends, or 419, 4019. Boom, 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 boom. Almost. So it almost did the entire move that you could have counted on from that tweezer move. So that's a pretty good move. Now when you get down to the bottom here, all right, so you have a hammer move here, and that is telling you that it's going to turn around. This is a rickshaw man or a doji telling you that it's going up, that it's going to turn around. And so once you learn to read these, this is a flat top here, like across, boom, 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 boom. Once it breaks out, it's probably going to really make a move. So these are just basic patterns that you should understand. It's not always going to work, you know. And typically it used to be said that the longer time frame for candlestick patterns was the more likely they would go. So remember, the candlestick pattern playbook has them rated, will help you see which ones are going to be more accurate. Bull flags and bear flags, 82% accuracy. So when you combine that with these other indicators I'm showing you, and support and resistance lines, which we're about to do right now. So let me give you some support and resistance lines. So when you're doing support and resistance, left to right, horizontal lines, you would start at an area like right here. It's a double top, it hit right there, and you click a line, okay? And then as price action gets near it again, you would think, hey, it may reject off of that. So here it broke through it, and then it rejected again, broke through it. So this is another way you do this is with Fibonacci retracements, which is these are what we consider to be nature's mathematical formula, and you always go left to right. And they also tell you, they give you, look at the channel for that. Look at this bigger channel. So now you combine support and resistance lines with Fibonacci levels, right? Get them. Now you can get your chart over busy, and some people say you shouldn't put anything on your chart. You don't need anything. Well, those people that say that are, pardon my French, but they're full of crap. And why I say that is because how could they tell you what you should do? If they're successful without any levels, that's great. That's how you trade. Not everybody trades the same way. So whether you have, I'm not going to tell you that you need lines, and I'm not going to tell you that you don't need lines. I'm just going to tell you some strategies call for them. And I'm going to say it might be a way you could become a successful trader is by having levels and trend lines and things marked out. Maybe you don't want to do that, but you don't want to tell somebody else, you're doing it wrong if you do that. And those people, you can tell, just don't know what they're talking about. I'm sorry. They just don't know. And they're usually just trying to prove, whatever. I'll stop right there. I'm not speaking of anybody. I'm generalizing as far as you know. So you're looking for, I'm going to get rid of the fib now just so we can look at the other. And that's how you do that, if you wondered. Now, the other thing you would do is you might want to do a trend line. So you take a low, and then when you have a trend line, you're trying to tap other areas as much as possible, to see how many you can tap. So if you were to do that, like if I was going to hit that low, you'd see how it hits here too, and then it hits right here. So you could see that if I did that, just went to that level with two good taps here and here, and then you were trading up here, look at the rejection. Didn't reject it, broke through it, rejected, and then it seemed like it consolidated, like it really, and then finally it broke through it. But this is another way, to see where support might be when you're trading. So you can open up any chart and start to do that. Okay, you could go the other way with it too. So if you were going down from the high here, and then you tried to get it, you want to catch all of those. So you caught all those across there, right? Look at that. Look at that. I didn't even see where that was going to be. So you basically just mark that trend, and then it totally respected it. Didn't quite hit it here, and that's because you hit all these as you went. And I didn't set it up exactly because I didn't zoom in, but people respect. Why would this work? Is because a lot of people do it, and then since a lot of people do it, they get respected, and it becomes self-fulfilling because a lot of people mark the same thing. So that is just a short look at how, and these you would match up as many as you can. Now in the RV strategy, it specifically tells you how to set up your support and resistances and create channels, ceilings, and floors, which make it even easier to make money by following a specific strategy that's been back tested now by thousands and thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of traders and have made millionaires, and many people are making a living. RV Strategy, Day Trading Volume 1. Check it out for sure. There was my little sponsors. So guys, that's technical analysis briefly. You can go on and on and on and on. And there's other videos that show you how to do the charts. But just in a nutshell, that's basically what you want to learn. I know even when you're watching me every day, you might have just picked up something there. I teach myself all the time. You know, I forget things, and then I go to talk to you guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, why aren't I doing that anymore? How stupid of me. You can get in a real, you know, just kind of a niche, whatever, and not look at things that might work, come back and revisit them with new data that you have now. Because this multi-chart alignment thing, it changes the way. I don't really need these. Why I keep these other things up now, because what it doesn't tell you is patterns. So I'm going to look for a good 5-minute pattern to help me back up my trade here. I want a 5-minute pattern, right? So that is very important to me when I'm, you know, looking for patterns. Now, pre-market, I'm not going to trust patterns, but you know, I would probably put a flat top line there, you know, because of how many times it tapped there. So that's not a pattern, but I mean, that's a support level, a resistance level, you know, and you know, it just depends on how many times it hits as you go across. Okay, guys, listen, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks and give us a thumbs up and all that. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate your support here. Don't forget to get your free stuff and the secret thing I already told you. And I'll see you soon. Okay, so always stay inquisitive and go green out there, guys. See you next time.